All right, two different and very big stories that we've been covering on this show, both since they broke, and we just got an update that might make it a little harder to now report on them. I'm talking first about the so-called Ohio House of Horrors, where the judge has gagged officials from discussing this case as far as it's related to Gary Siders Jr., one of the defendants, the apparent father to the 16 children who were reportedly found in a small room in a feces-covered, dilapidated house, barely able to communicate. Those are the allegations. LA Magazine contributor and friend of the show, Lauren Conlin, has been leading with her reporting on this story and obtained that order. Here is some of what it says. Quote, the court finds, given the publicity thus far, that any statements made to media by the Ohio Attorney General's office, the Vinton County Prosecutor's Office, Vinton County Clerk of Courts, and the Vinton County Sheriff's Office, and any party related to the investigation or prosecution of the alleged crimes, quite broad, including defense counsel, would create a reasonable likelihood of prejudicial pretrial publicity, which may impact the ability to impanel an impartial jury. Now, so far, it appears that the other three defendants, Gary Jr.'s wife, Elizabeth Siders, the children's mother, and his parents, Christina and Gary Siders Sr., they don't share that same gag order. So maybe that could change. But the other big story that's facing a big roadblock has to do with this story of the missing, or the mystery of a missing retired general. We'll talk about retired General William Neal McCaslin, whose disappearance, as you may know, kicked off a much bigger investigation and conversation into this dozen dead or missing scientists and government employees that are all connected to sensitive U.S. research, including the aerospace industry, the nuclear sector. And this is another story closely covered by LA Magazine's Lauren Conlin. And guess what? Here is somehow the FBI denied her Freedom of Information Act, her FOIA request. It says, you have requested records concerning one or more missing third-party individuals. We regret that we cannot provide you records regarding a missing person. Therefore, your request will be administratively closed. What does that mean? For that, I turn to Lauren Conlin herself. Good to see you again, Lauren. Okay, made of questions here. I got to start with this gag order. First of all, explain to me why this was filed, why it was granted. And just to be clear, it's only for one defendant so far?
I literally, Jesse, refreshed all of the dockets of each defendant, and right now this gag order is only applied to Gary Siders Jr., which, in my opinion, really doesn't make any sense here. They're all charged with the same thing. If officials are going to be talking about the case, I mean, they're kind of talking about it, you know, in a blanket way. I mean, each defendant, again, is charged with the same crimes, but specifically what his attorney cited when he filed this motion for the gag order, the things that he had issue with. He had issue with officials describing the conditions as pure evil, saying the children looked almost feral, saying that they've seen livestock in better conditions, calling the home disgusting, filled with human feces, talking about some of the children possibly dying if they weren't cared for in the next 24 hours. So, you know, he, like many defense lawyers, thought that this would prejudice a potential jury pool. And obviously that is correct. It absolutely would. But, you know, I've seen, again, that no other defendants have filed this. So I am very confused. That may change. This makes a difference.
That may change. That may change when they see this. And it makes sense. I get that in a way, because this is a very unique case with very disturbing allegations. It's one thing for the media to report it, going to be a question of a change of venue, but to have the people involved in the case saying these things, I could get that argument. Let me ask you about this. I understand you got your hands on these 2021 truancy complaints, okay? Right? And because a big question has been, did anybody know about the kids? Were they going to school? What did you learn?
Yes, I did see these complaints, and look, the kids were reportedly not in school for a full school year, 2021 into 2022, and when the juvenile courts went to serve the Siders family, they couldn't. They could not locate them, and I asked the courts if there were any follow-ups after this, or any follow-ups that I should be aware of, and they just said no. And what I find interesting also, under Ohio law, they also kind of create separate cases and actually name the children, and they're referred to as, quote, unruly children if they're not in school. It's kind of wild to me. I had never seen that before.
So just to be clear, they were listed as unruly children, but there was no follow-up by anybody to find out what was going on.
No, and I do have the name of this school. I have reached out to several administrators at this school that I saw were there a few years ago. So, Jesse, if I get some information, I'll be back to discuss. Oh,
Yeah.
I also wanted to mention to you, I spoke to DoorDash, who also wanted to distance themselves from Gary Siders, as there was reports that he possibly did some deliveries for them, and they were like, he did maybe 4 deliveries 2 years ago, and that's it. He was not an employee.
I'm sure they want to distance themselves based on these
did.
allegations. Okay, let's talk about General McCaslin. So your FOIA request was denied. First of all, what were you asking for?
I mean, I was asking for any and all records that they could provide into the investigation, into the disappearance of General McCaslin. You know, anything, body cam footage, interviews, documents. Again, it was a very blanket request. I will say that. I did, you know, I specified certain dates that I thought would be possibly manageable for them, you know, to go back into their records here. But I think the issue here is they basically say that, you know, public interest does not weigh or outweigh the privacy here. So I think I have to rework this request and kind of focus on the FBI and how they handle investigations into a disappearance of someone like General McCaslin, someone of his caliber and his experience and expertise.
What exactly did they say to you that gave you a little bit of pause?
I mean, it basically said, you know, we're not going to confirm or deny that these records exist. We just need to cite these privacy exemptions for missing persons, and that's that. So they basically said, if you can demonstrate that public interest outweighs the privacy, you know, maybe we can process this. But Jesse, it's not about, you know, public interest meaning everybody's clicking on this story. Again, it's about how the FBI would handle an investigation like this with someone that worked for the government. Again, someone of the caliber of General McCaslin.
Isn't the federal government looking into this? Isn't that a reason of public interest? I mean, real quick, it seems to me that them shielding themselves from this, or shielding information, which I can understand there could be sensitive information. It's just adding to the narrative, right, Lauren? We got 20 seconds.
Yeah, I agree with you here. I don't know why it has to be so difficult. I will rework this request.
Okay.
I've already been working on it. But no, you're right. I mean, and by the way, we haven't gotten any updates from the White House or the FBI about any of the missing. Monica Reza, I mean, General McCaslin. It's Melissa. It's terrible.
And this is why the conversation and the interest continues. Lauren Conlin, thank you so much. Great reporting, and thanks for coming on, as always.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.